Welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. Right now, very happy to have on Representative Watson Coleman, a Democrat representing the 12th Congressional District in New Jersey, serves on the Committee on Appropriations, and was one of the members of Congress at the ICE facility in Newark on Friday, which we played clips from her. So Representative Watson Coleman, nice to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you're okay. And it's good to have you on.
I'm always glad to be with you. Thank you.
Sure. So tell us, first, before we get to the melee that happened, why did you and the two other Democratic members of the House go to the ICE facility in Newark? Like, what was the reason for the mission here, the meeting?
We wanted to conduct an oversight tour. We wanted to see the facility, see who was there. There had been rumors about children being there. The place was just opening up really as a detention center. It had been used for other purposes before. So we just wanted to conduct the oversight visit that we're entitled to do under the law.
And so you, and by law, as I think people read now, members of Congress have the right to go into the facility. And did you go with the mayor of Newark, or was he just there? You just went two other members of Congress?
No, the mayor was not there when we got there. We got there, they held us at the gate. They wouldn't get anyone to come and get us. They were just folks who opened the gate and closed the gate, and so we were out there a good 45 minutes or so waiting to get in, and we finally got in. And then
so did you go in and do the inspection and then come out? The mayor was there? Is that, or?
No, because when we went in, they kept delaying us, saying they had to talk to this one, they had to talk to that one. They kept using this one name. And finally, and we kept saying to the people that were there, well, you keep calling it and asking them, what's the timeline?
Right.
When are they coming? So they finally came, and we were like, oh, good, now we can get this tour done. And they came, they spoke, and then they went back outside real fast. And then someone said that the mayor was there now. Mm-hmm. So we came out, and by the time we got to where the mayor was, which was inside the gate because someone had allowed him in to speak, when the ICE facility folks, when they saw us coming and we were there, they told the mayor that he was trespassing and he had to leave. And he left and went out into the public realm with people who had been there protesting. But he had just gotten there, I understand.
Oh, so you're inside, because I saw the video, so I can mentally picture this. If this is correct. There was the gated area to get into the ICE facility. There's outside, which is public. This is not federal property. This is Delaney Hall. It's like it's something that a private prison was using, Geo Group, and then they were now using it as an ICE facility. So it's not like a federal prison or a federal army base. It's just something in Newark. So the mayor goes on the other side of the gate, which is just public property, and he's standing out there. You're inside. And then do you go inside, do the inspection, or does the melee happen? Does the
melee happens when they said, when they, when we were walking back to that holding area, thinking we were going to take the tour, the inspection, and we saw them on phones. And so we heard, we're going to arrest him. And we're like, why? He's on public property. He's not trespassing. And they wouldn't answer us. And then they opened the gates, and about, 20 of them proceeded to come out there in the space where the mayor was. And the three members of Congress felt like we needed to shield the mayor. And so that's what we were doing. We were trying to shield the mayor because they seemed so out of control that we were very concerned about his safety.
So when the ICE agents came out, we saw a video. Many were masked. Were they armed? Could you see their badges? Were they?
You can. They were armed. They had the body stuff that they wear, and they had their masks on. Yes.
And were they identify themselves as ICE agents, as federal agents, as anything?
They didn't identify themselves in my hearing. And I was sort of right there in the midst of it, as we can see. But because they came out of the facility and they were in the fatigues and, that whole regalia that one wears, if we had no reason to believe they weren't ICE.
Right. No, I'm just wondering. No, I'm asking because I'm curious as to what happened in the moment. Watching the video, we're seeing snapshots in time, but you were actually there. And I'm sorry, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, who was there on Friday at the Newark facility. So a group of like 20 or some number along those lines, ICE agents or people who look like federal agents, go outside from the private area, which is in the gated area, to the public area, which is public and open to anybody. And that's where they grab the mayor and arrest him. He's not in the private area when they go to arrest him.
No, he's in the public area. As
Right.
they asked him to get out of the private area, he did that. He did that without any reservation, without any resistance. He did what he was asked. And then, so when we heard that they were arresting him, we were confused because we couldn't figure out why. He was on public property. And so because we translated that and put it that way, we were very concerned about his safety.
And so there's this melee, we see this video, we've seen a few stories from the regime, and I tell people all the time, you can't believe anything the regime says unless you can prove it on your own. If you can prove it through credible, objective evidence on your own, then believe it. But so they gave one story saying that a bunch of prisoners or ICE detainees were coming in and that yourselves and the mayor rushed the gate. And that was literally a story. They put a statement out like that. Is that accurate at all?
That's an absolute lie. But then we should be used to these people lying in the Trump administration. Shit, he lies. So why can't you expect the rest of them to lie? We saw no bus with any detainees at any time. And so that is patently untrue. And I don't understand how they think that 3 people could storm the gates.
No, they were.
Let's not even go there, right?
I know the contrast to January 6th, and I mean, so then they arrest the mayor in front of you. Did you actually see the arrest?
Oh, absolutely. I saw them handcuff him, and we were walking behind him while they were taking him. And then we got up to the area where the facility was, where we were going to be. They took him beyond that. And we went into the facility, and that's when we had the tour.
So I saw an interview with the mayor where he said that, he was there because he's the mayor and had concerns about this facility, that the city of Newark's actually suing the facility operators for not having all the permits they need. And that, when he was saying he was not asked to leave, I believe now what he meant was when he was on the outside. He's just outside there because he does what they ask him to leave. He goes from the inside to the outside. He's on public property and they arrest him on the public property here. So that's kind of interesting. It's not trespassing on public property. You can't tell someone to leave public property, especially the mayor of the city that you're in.
Right. Yeah. So, and the irony of ironies during our tour, because this was about inspections, I understand, as far as the mayor was concerned. One of the areas of inspection were the elevators. Well, the 3 of us and the one gentleman who was taking us around, we got on the elevator. It was hard first for it to be called. Then we got on it. We got off on the 2nd floor. When we got done our tour of the 2nd floor, we got back on the elevator and wouldn't move. So the elevator needs a little work. Right.
And I want to ask you more about the tour itself and what you saw, because I saw your statements afterwards.
Yeah.
Now, the Trump regime, Tricia McLaughlin was on CNN and saying, quote, one of members of Congress body slammed, not the word she used, armed federal officers. And they showed the video. And I'm waiting for the video of the member, and I don't think it was you. I'm not sure who they meant, body slam. Did any member of Congress that you were with there literally body slam an ICE officer?
Not in my presence. And I was sort of like right there in the middle of it. And there was only 2 other members. I didn't see any body slamming. So I just don't understand why they're making something out of the lies. What are they deflecting from? I know that the arrest of the mayor is probably illegal, but I don't know why they just won't let this go. I guess it's their incompetence and their desire to be so evil.
Well, they want to score political points. The right-wing media was going crazy. They were loving this. They were equating it to January 6th. which is just remarkable because they're finally upset with January 6th. Apparently, they finally got mad at January 6th. That's the beauty of this.
They'd have to clone. They'd have to clone us. They'd have to AI about what 3 or 4,000 people
Yep.
into Friday. Yeah.
So the DHS spokesperson also said they're looking at the video to maybe arrest other people. And do you have any concerns that they might try to charge you with a crime?
Yeah. I think that they're that absurd.
They will.
And they're that they're that vengeful that they would try to do whatever they can to show that they're in charge and they can do anything they want. And I think that that's the thing that concerns me the most, Dean, and that I want the country to see. These people are out of control. This administration has weaponized law enforcement. They don't care about the rules of law. They can disrespect and lock up judges and members of Congress if they like. No one is safe in this administration. But I believe something happened in that the mayor was ultimately released that night while they were trying very hard to hold on to him, perhaps through the weekend. People kept coming to that second facility where they were holding him. The crowd was enormous. It was boisterous, but it was peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
But it kept growing and growing and growing, and people were filming things. And I believe that the mayor was released and able to go home with his wife and his mother who was there because of the people showing up. And it just reinforces, you and I talk about this all the time, Dean. The power is with the people.
Yep.
We've got more power than the people who are in power if we stand up to this terrible dictatorship behavior, this autocracy behavior, and kneel to what is a kleptocracy. This is a very corrupt administration.
Oh, what Donald Trump has done, there are dictators in other parts of the world that are really impressed. They're like, if we could have only done that in 3 months. I just wrote about it today. Talked about. He's made $2.9 billion in the last 6 months with crypto alone. But I wonder if the mayor or Governor Murphy could look into, did these ICE officials commit any crimes? They assaulted people outside of the private area, in the public area. There's no defense. They don't have immunity outside of that. There could be immunity in effectuating an arrest, but not assaulting people on private area. So I really hope that the New Jersey Attorney General or the county prosecutors or others will look into this, because I think, look, Donald Trump will never slow down his ICE thugs. Like, they'll do whatever he wants. Maybe them being prosecuted for state crimes, because there's no pardoning for them. If they committed a state or local crime, be charged with it. If not, then so be it. But if they did, I really hope they're investigated for it. It's the only way to deter the same conduct.
Yeah, we need accountability here,
Mm-hmm.
because without accountability, people will continue to take a message from him or instructions from him, or just the idea that they can do anything they want to do to whomever. And so it's okay when they snatch people from their families. It's okay when they deport mothers with children with cancer. It's okay when they separate families. It's okay when they pick up a student and take that student to Louisiana, and that student belongs up in Massachusetts. It's okay when they take a Khalil from his family, from his 8-month pregnant wife, and take him to Louisiana and not allow him to speak to his family. This is un-American. This is what folks do in countries where you don't have any rights. And one last thing, because I know we're going over here. At the time where this government is acting this way, particularly as it's impacting people of color, whether that color is light color or dark color, they are finding ways to bring in white South Africans and give them citizenship. This is absurd, everyone. You understand that if you don't bend your knees to this autocracy, you will have no rights. And I don't care if you are American, white, Black, Latino, or Muslim, or whatever. They don't care about us.
I agree. And last thing, with your Democrats are the minority, so you can't do the oversight the way you would want to in this situation. But is there any way to slip into legislation that ICE agents can't wear masks unless there's a limited exception for where, like there could be if it's a real life and death, but in their day-to-day operations, they're masked and our police officers are not masked. So why are our police so brave and ICE such cowards that they're wearing a mask? Why don't they want to be held accountable? It really, as a lawyer, it makes alarm bells go off. You only hide your face when you don't want to be held accountable. Our police don't hide their face.
Yep. We have various pieces of legislation that address ICE being visible in certain uniforms, so people know who's coming up to them. Yeah, there's lots of different legislation. Yeah, we can slip it in. We can talk about it. We can hold shadow hearings on things of this nature. And we will continue, I think, to do those things that highlight what they're doing and what they think they can get away with, so that people in our country can recognize you can stop them. You can stop them from this illegal, dangerous, hateful behavior and actions. And we must, to save this country for our children, the next generation, and even what they want to do with healthcare and Medicaid and things of that nature, to protect our vulnerable seniors and the ill people and children and disabled. We're all in this together, so we need to act like it.
And in that spirit, it was good to see all the Democratic candidates for governor, the ones running against the mayor, all put out statements very quickly, denouncing the arrest, denouncing ICE. They were all together, Mikey Sherrill, Josh Gottheimer, full up everyone together with one. And I was like, there you go. That's finally Democratic unity. Well, next time we'll talk about the Medicaid plan, because Republicans want to cut 9 million people from insurance so they can give a tax cut for Elon Musk. It's unreal. So Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, I'm glad you're safe. I was worried when I saw what was going on, and I look forward to chatting with you in the near future, my friend.
Peace, my friend. Peace.
Peace. Take care.